everybody, and welcome back to the KK Zone. As always, I am Kara Kaufman, your host, and I come to you at the end of Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to all of those who celebrate. I hope it was a wonderful day. It certainly was a wonderful day for the Yankees. They completed their 3-game set against the Washington Nationals, and they won 2 out of 3. Pretty good. Kind of would have been nice if they won all 3, but you know what? Let's not get greedy. They won the series. That's what I wanted them to do. And they went the hard way, dropping the first and winning the second 2 to take the 3-game set. This is great. They get to head into an off day, relaxed, refreshed, and proud of themselves. And I'm proud of them too. So I'm going to try and recap these games. I'm giving myself 4 minutes for 3 games. Ew, I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I'm going to give it my best effort. Alright, here we go. Ready, set, go. First game for 3-game set Friday night in the Bronx. Nationals come in and immediately squish the Yankees. That's not fair. It wasn't an immediate squish. It actually was a beautifully started game by Jameson Taillon. He was great. That's the good. The bad is that the bullpen, which has been so good for the Yankees, had a second in a row complete meltdown. This one in the 8th inning, they allowed 6 runs. That is way too many. That's insane. No, very bad. I don't even know what to say about that. Loizaga was terrible. Sessa was terrible. The guys who've been very reliable just had a nightmare day. It goes on. Unfortunately, that meant the Yankees lost the game 11-4. That's embarrassing. Less said about that, the better. There were a couple good things I will say, which were that Taillon was great. Also, DJ LeMahieu hit 2 home runs, which would have been great if they'd mattered. Unfortunately, they eventually got lost in the shuffle of losing 11-4. Wompity womp womp womp. Also, that was the first game back from Miguel Andujar, and here's my favorite thing about that game. He looked pretty good at first base. That was his first Major League game at first base, and he kind of nailed it. Couple tough scoops there, and he managed them, so good to that experiment. But anyway, most of that game was not so good, so moving on to Saturday. This one was a nail-biter. Max Scherzer for the Nationals was mowing him down. I mean, I know he's not a Yankee, but you can't help but love watching that guy. He struck out 14 Yankees. 14 Yankees! That's insane! He pitched in the 7th inning and, looked bonkers good. So, you expect the Yankees are going to lose that game, probably. But they didn't. Yay! Corey Kluber maintains his form. He looked great. He was not as efficient as Scherzer, nor as strikeouty as Scherzer, but he kept the Nationals down mostly. So, in the end, it was a tied game. It didn't end tied, of course. It went to extra innings. It took 11. The Yankees ended up prevailing 4-3, but it took some drama to get there. It took the Yankees scoring a lot late to make that game happen. They scored in the bottom of the 9th, 10th, and 11th. Aroldis Chapman allowed his first run of the season, though it was unearned because of the weird ghost runner rule. But on balance, this one was a pitcher's duel. That's all it was. The good thing that happened to the Yankees there was that Higashioka hit a homer against Scherzer. That was, frankly, otherwise there would have been no hope. That meant there was some hope. And who had the walk-off hit, you might ask? Gleyber Torres! He was the hero. Bases were loaded with the Yankees, and he had a dribbler down the third baseline. Pitcher had no throw to make. Game over. Yankees win. Excellent. Today, Sunday, another matinee, another pitcher's duel. Domingo Germán was killer, and Ross of the Nationals also really, really good. That one was tied. Germán was winning that battle. Yankees had 2 runs early, one on a Hicks RBI single, one on Gleyber Torres' first home run of the year. Go Gleyber. Go Gleyber. And then they ended up tied because Kyle Schwarber mashed a 2-run homer off of Germán in his last inning of work. Womp womp, he made it through 6 1/3. Hey, not bad. But in the end, it was still tied. Yankees bullpen locked down once again, as we come to expect. Giancarlo Stanton came through with the big, hard-hit single to left field with men on first and third and 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. So no extras needed, but 2 walk-offs in a row. The score today was 3-2 in favor of the good guys. This is a really cool game. Hicks looks like he's really coming around. That is exceptional to see. He's hitting something like 400 this week. He is finally really seeing the ball. He had that big single. It was a big deal. Gleyber Torres, the first home run, a big deal. Giancarlo Stanton, seeing the ball like a watermelon right now. So that was overall a good game. And Andujar played third base in today's game. And the best news I have about that is that there was no news. There were no errors on his end. He looked nice and solid in the field. Overall for the Yankees, 2 out of 3, looking good doing it. What good timing! That'll wrap it. Okay, that was a good series. I don't think there's too much else I have to add on there. A little bit more on Saturday's extra innings craziness. So As I said, Gleyber Torres had the walk-off hit. That was great. Gleyber Torres also had the game-tying hit in the bottom of the ninth. That's right, the Yankees were losing in the bottom of the ninth, and Gleyber Torres came through with a solid line drive single to drive in the tying run. And then in the bottom of the 10th, the Yankees had allowed a run in the top of the 10th, and in the bottom of the 10th, they had the bottom of the order at the plate. It wasn't looking so good. They had Mike Ford up there with a man on second, and he showed bunt. He failed to bunt twice, therefore having 2 strikes on him, and at that point, Boone wisely took off the bunt sign, and what happened? Ford, against a lefty, lined a base hit to left. I mean, he hadn't hit in days. He's lefty on lefty. He failed to bunt twice, was 0-2 in the count, and came up with the game-tying hit anyway. That was a big, big moment. Also, it's always hilarious when a guy is squaring to bunt, and it ends up taking it back and swinging. Like, that's always very satisfying when he comes up with a hit. Also, what are the Nationals doing, pitching to him there like that? Like, don't give him anything to hit. I mean, thank you, but... and speaking of Nationals pitching, man, Brad Hand, he's great. He's a very good pitcher. He had the loss in both games the Yankees have walked off on the Nationals this weekend. He cannot seem to get any of them out. And he also pitched for Cleveland last year and did a really not great job of it in the playoffs. So... feels like Brad Hand, really good pitcher, but maybe not against the Yankees. And you know what? As a Yankees fan, I'll take it. But I feel a little bad for him. Oh well, in any event, Yankees capitalized on his inability to get them out, and they managed to win 2 walk-offs in a row, which, hey, that feels good. Important fashion note for those keeping up, Mike Ford, he of the game-tying bottom of the 10th hit on Saturday, has shaved his mustache. Oh, look at this. Alright, I mean, he looks great clean-shaven. That's how we came to know and love Mike Ford. But I was kind of appreciating the throwback look. I thought he looked really cool with it. Like, I don't know. It was working for me, but I guess he felt like it wasn't working for him at the plate. As we know, hitters especially, superstitious AF. So he thought, not hitting, stash gotta go. And go it has. R.I.P. Ford stash. News from around the league. We have talked about several no-hitters. I rhapsodized about John Means earlier this week. And oh my god, there was another one. What? Wade Miley of the Reds threw another no-hitter against Cleveland, which is, unfortunately, Cleveland has been no-hit twice this season, which, woof, anytime you're feeling bad about your team, at least you weren't no-hit twice, so it could always be worse. But congrats to Wade Miley. Also, I mean, that's great. Achievement on its own, very good, well done, a feat, no matter when and how it's accomplished. That being said, that's already 4 no-hitters by May 7th of this season, and that's not including Madison Bumgarner's controversial possible no-hitter, in which it was a pre-planned 7-inning doubleheader game, and he pitched all 7 innings, allowing no hits. Is that a no-hitter? People have opinions on this, but in the eyes of Elias Sports Bureau, who keeps official MLB stats, it is not a no-hitter because it was not a 9-inning game. I won't get into that, but in any case, there were at least 4 and possibly a 5th no-hitter this season already. It's early May. What is going on, MLB? After all this talk about wanting to increase offense, seems like what has happened here is offense has taken a big fat nosedive, and pitchers are better than ever, and there have been 4/5 no-hitters. I mean, a no-hitter is exciting and fun, but wow, that is really something. We'll have to see how that progresses as the weather heats up and maybe baseball starts flying a little more. Dunno, we'll see, but so far it's no-hitter city. And possibly your weirdest item of the week is shocker from the Mets. The Mets are always gonna Mets. And they're actually playing pretty good baseball right now. They're winning a good amount. However, in a game over the weekend, there was a very strange moment between new Mets star signed to a long-term contract, Francisco Lindor, fantastic, amazing shortstop, off to a really terrible start offensively. And poor Lindor has realized New Yorkers are a tough crowd. I hope he picks it up soon because he's fun to watch. It'd be nice if he would hit to go along with his sparkling defense. And then, of course, also Jeff McNeil, breakout star for the Mets 2 years ago. He's a great hitter and a staple on the infield. Well, they had a bit of a miscommunication in a game about a play on defense, which Lindor ended up making, but maybe McNeil was blocking his views. He wasn't able to get a good throw off. There was a little bit of a kerfuffle. These things happen. Communication still being worked out with a new member of the team. Later in the game, the cameras saw, between innings, a couple of Mets, Mozo and Megan Conforto, look down the hallway into the clubhouse, see something they didn't like, and start sprinting towards the action. And who was down there? Well, turns out it might have been Lindor and Jeff McNeil. When asked about it, Francisco Lindor, who is a delight, if I haven't mentioned, Mr. Smile, I mean, he's so fun. He's asked about what happened in the interview and what Conforto ran to do, and I think we're all assuming it was break up a fight. or at least a verbal altercation, or at least some kind of conflict that he saw happening between teammates. What Lindor said happened was he saw a large rat in the hallway and wanted to check it out because he had never seen a real New York rat, and it was huge. And then, according to him, Jeff McNeil was like, no, bro, that's a raccoon. That's too big for a rat. So they were just having a casual wildlife observing conversation, trying to ascertain the exact species of the rodent-like large creature that they saw in the actual hallway of Citi Field hanging out to their own clubhouse, which, several problems here. Number one, who can't tell a raccoon from a rat? I'm sorry, I don't care where you're from. A raccoon has a big fluffy tail and the bandit eyes. A rat has neither of those things. Even if a rat is the size of a raccoon, it's still demonstrably a rat. So I call shenanigans on that story just solely on common sense. But second of all, if there are rats the size of raccoons, or raccoons in Citi Field, problem. Steve Cohen, get some exterminators, get some humane traps. I don't care what you do, but there should not be rats this size wandering around player areas in Citi Field. I am concerned for health and safety. So ultimately, we think this story is crap and a cover-up, but it was a really fun one, and I super appreciate the enthusiasm and vigor with which Francisco Lindor dove into this clearly ridiculous tale of rat, raccoon. It is just like that moment in Fiddler in the Roof, when the citizens of Antarctica are divided between whether that animal was a horse or a mule. It was a horse, it was a mule, it was a rat, it was a raccoon. I hope this goes down in Mets lore in a fun way, and I hope that Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil become the best of friends, inseparable buddies. But in the meantime, this was my weirdest thing of the week. Thank you, Mets. If it's Sunday, it must be time for an award show. Here come the Zoney Awards. Welcome to the Zoney Awards. This week, as always, we start out by giving out our Best in Show. There was really only one choice this week, and it was Giancarlo Stanton. Yes, that's... Stanton has been unbelievable. Over the last 2 weeks, he's been on fire. He has, this award specifically is because he has driven in 9 runs, which sounds like a lot in 6 games, and it is. And it's not an insane number, but it's a large number until you look at everyone else and realize that it was 3 times the number that anybody else drove in. So clearly carrying the weight of the team on his very broad and chiseled shoulders is Giancarlo Stanton this week. Just doing it all. Hitting mammoth homers, hitting walk-off singles, just launching balls into orbit and also placing them where they ain't and driving in all the runs. He's helping us win games consistently, and for that, Giancarlo Stanton is your Best in Show this week. Now, it wouldn't be a week in baseball without a delightful moment. This week, I am giving that honor of most delightful moment to watch to my own Gleyber Torres. We all know how much I love him, so I'm a little biased maybe. However, Gleyber, who, as we all know, hit 38 home runs a couple years back, had yet to hit a single home run this season, and that was a little odd. He's been coming around at the plate, but still hadn't knocked one until Sunday afternoon. Shout out, first of all, to Paul O'Neill on the Haikus broadcast for, before the game, calling today would be the day for Gleyber Torres or Miguel Andujar, hedging his bets, to hit their first home run of the year. Well, Gleyber came through for Paulie and for himself and for all of us, really, and hit a mammoth home run to left field, which at the time put the Yankees up 2-0. That was great, but even more great was Gleyber's reaction to the homer. He hit it, knew it immediately because it was clearly gone, had just the cutest little, yes, to himself, then rounded the bases, and all his teammates knew how much he'd been waiting for this, so look at Gleyber's face. Come on, how do you not love that? That's so cute. He was so happy and, frankly, relieved. I don't think anyone thought Gleyber Torres forgot how to hit home runs, but when you haven't had your first one and it's been a while, you know what? It's just nice to get it off your back. So, Gleyber Torres, delightful moment of the week, that home run and that smile. We're giving out an award this week for sneakiest great bullpen performance. As we detailed, there have been a couple of epic meltdowns in the bullpen this week, and also a couple of shutdown performances, but who's been really good and under the radar? It is Wandy Peralta, one of the newest Yankees. Wandy, congratulations on your first Zoney Award for sneakiest great pitching performance, and I have to say, he only pitched 2 1/3 innings this week, but it was in 4 different appearances. He only allowed 1 hit, 0 walks, 4 strikeouts, no runs. That is some stealthy, really good. And I remember all week when he'd be put into a high leverage spot, I'd be like, uh-oh, why are we going to Wandy here? Where's somebody else who I trust more? And he didn't let me down not once. So, good job to Wandy. And fun fact here, per Yankee stats, he is the first reliever since Tommy Kahnle a couple years back to go his first 5 appearances as a Yankee while giving up no runs and also walking nobody. So that's pretty good company. We love Tommy Kahnle. So I say, well done to stealthy, excellent job in the bullpen, Wandy Peralta. I have one last award to give out this week, and it is Prettiest in Pink. Okay, I love when they do fun uniform things, and for Mother's Day, the theme was, well, it was pink. It was breast cancer awareness, a very important cause we're very excited about, and also just like pink for Mother's Day. Fine, sure, we love. The first thing I'll say about this is that we're playing the Nationals whose main color is red. Red and pink can work together, but they did not in this case. It was kind of tough. However, with the pinstripes, the pink looks just like chef's kiss awesome. And people did varying levels of pink stuff. So everybody, spoiler, the whole team, the whole Yankees team wins this award for going all in and looking super snazzy in pink. Miguel Andujar can't call it eye black when it's pink, it's eye pink. I don't think it has any practical effect. Like, eye black is supposed to take the reflection, of the sun away. I'm not sure eye pink does that, but sure did look pretty sweet. These socks everyone was wearing, look at these. If you're convinced that high socks are the way to go, when they're cool, special event, fancy socks, even more so. Wear them pulled up proudly. These look great. The guys used pink bats. That was so neat. What a cool, refreshing thing to look at. Like, how do you not love that? It's just a different look and a pretty look. And the kicker. I mean, there were armbands, there were wristbands, there were the confession sleeves, but check out Gary Sanchez. He could not be more pink if he tried, and I love it. The chest protector, the leg pads, pink, 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 pink. I stan. This is a fantastic look that I greatly approve of, and this just proves my point. More teams need interesting actual primary uniform colors. Wear the pink uniforms. They would look so good. I mean, if it's not going to be your primary, just make it your strong secondary. Someone needs to do this. It looks great against the grass and the sky. I am all for this. When is it happening? But in the meantime, if we're really rocking out pink in all possible ways today, the whole team wins Prettiest in Pink. Well, it wouldn't be the KK Zone if we didn't leave you with some haikus for thought. And here they are in order as I experienced them. So, starting on a low note and kind of rising up. Starting with Fridays. That got ugly fast. At least we weren't no hit, so it could be worse. Yeah, that sums it up. I mean, someone else did get no hits. That wasn't just a hypothetical. And yeah, it started out like a really close, really tight, really okay game until that implosion, the full, complete blah, 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 blah. But enough about that. We had happier tweets. Moving forward from Saturday. Gleyber Torres with a walk-off infield single. Shout out to Mad Max. That was a really crazy walk-off, low hit probability. Oh, I forgot. They were playing a 5-man infield. I didn't even mention that. The Nationals, with the bases loaded and nobody out, thought that, okay, we should bring 5 guys into the infield to prevent an infield ball from getting through. And what happened? Gleyber Torres hit a ball literally in the infield, and none of the 5 people on the infield, nor the pitcher, nor the catcher, so really 7 people, none of them could get it. Bonkers. I had to shout out Max Scherzer because it's like the same way it felt to lose that game to the Astros after Cole was so great. The Nats feel the same way. Scherzer was awesome. They didn't deserve to lose that game, but oh well, we won it. Thank you, Gleyber. But shout out to Mad Max. And then from today, 2 straight walk-off wins, a plethora of pink gear. Happy Mother's Day. I feel all those things. I've already detailed the obsession with pink. I love 2 straight walk-off wins. That is some momentum. So, here we go. We've got an off day tomorrow to relax, enjoy this win, soak up the giddiness that comes from 2 straight walk-offs. And then, where are we? 10-game road trip, longest of the season, starting in Tampa. So that's been rough for us. I am hoping it is time. We are playing better. We'll turn it around. We will beat Tampa Bay. Come on, we can do it. I hope we can do it anyway, so we'll see. But in the meantime, at least there are good vibes going into a series at the Trop, a thing I always pretty much dread. So, to sing us off into our off day and hopefully drive us on through to the wilds of Tampa, it is Stephen Sondheim from Anyone Can Whistle. There are heroes in the world. Yeah, there are. First of all, moms are heroes. All parents and caretakers are heroes. Thank you to everybody for all the work they do to make our children grow up. So good. It takes a village. And those people are all heroes to me. And also, more specifically to our channel here, there are Yankee heroes in the world, and this week it was Gleyber Torres and Giancarlo Stanton. A walk-off hit always feels like a heroic turn. Just feels like the dragon has been vanquished. I mean, you can see them all run the field and like jump on each other and flail their arms about. It's pretty adorable. It's very exciting. It's clearly an adrenaline high, and I love it. I love watching guys play hero. So hopefully more of that, please. Although I'd also be equally happy with very large margin wins don't require walk-offs. But you know what? It takes a little bit of both to go where we want to get this season. Yankees are having a good time right now. Hopefully it continues. We will talk about how Tampa goes, good, bad, or indifferent, as soon as those games happen. So, in the meantime, enjoy a Monday off, and, as always, go Yanks.